Good morning, guys, and welcome to another episode of the 20 into 30 podcast. You are joining me, myself, and the Swedish bombshell that is Evelina. Evelina, how you doing?
I'm all good, thank you.
Keeping
How
well?
are you?
On your fast?
Yes, today is my day of fasting to kickstart my new, my yearly diet. So I'm very exciting.
Just remind us why you do diet.
It's a gut healing diet that I do each year. So basically, I'm taking out all the food that might cause allergy, could be hard to digest, or just trouble your stomach in any way, and just eating the most nourishing meals.
So, guys, basically, if you're looking for something like that, check out Health by Evelina on Instagram because you are talking about this diet whilst you go through it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm actually letting people into what I'm doing this time. So it's going to be daily updates and all that.
Yeah, I saw that you put on your Insta stories yesterday about starting it,
Yes.
and then you went out and had your final meal before you start your detox.
Yeah, so I had a delicious meal with a cheeky dessert, of course, and a glass of rosé. So I'm all ready,
And,
set to go now.
and now you're fasting for 24 hours. See,
Yeah.
that's like me
See how that
after
goes.
a busy weekend of eating a whole box of Cocoa Pops and then being like, Monday, Luke, you shouldn't eat today.
Yeah, that I would say is an eating disorder, but we can speak about that too.
Well, I don't get it because I bought a box of Cocoa Pops the other day, right? And it says serving 16. No, it's not. No, it's not. So what I did was, to make myself feel better about my life, what I did was I did serve myself up 16 bowls of the Cocoa Pops over a Saturday. However, the problem is, it turns out, yes, I still eat a box, it just takes longer. But it still gets eaten in a day. Whereas normally I'd eat like a 120 bowl or like a 60-gram bowl, but like the recommended serve is like a 30, but I'm like, nah. So, but I just end up eating more milk that way.
Yes, you're trying to smooth this out, saying your protein intake went up with the amount of Cocoa Pops that
It
you
did.
ate.
It did. What I do is just live on Cocoa Pops and protein shakes, you know? So
There's one way of dieting.
making sure I get my macros. Don't do this, guys. Don't. If you want abs, check out my page at Luke Bradley, but don't expect it to be the most smoothest way to get abs.
This like dirty bulking,
Yeah,
isn't it?
do you know what? It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's not. It's not probably a nutrition what a nutritionalist would give me. No, but I get the abs.
No.
Get the abs. Done my cardio this morning. I bought myself a bike.
Yes, and that takes us into this conversation actually. In today's topic, we're gonna break down should you be doing cardio or should you be doing strength? And I feel like this is a very hot topic, and you are very obsessed with getting your cardio in, especially your steps. And now you got this bike. Tell us all about the bike, Luke.
Yeah. So the word you said was obsessed, and I could probably agree. I do get a bit obsessed about things because if I'm doing it, I'm going to do it. So basically, I do like riding my bike. But the weather has changed over here. The weather is pretty grim. We've had rain for the last 24 hours, and it's meant to be raining pretty much for the next sort of 3 days straight. Now, I'm a fair weather rider, and I don't want my bike, I'm a bit like, I don't want him getting cold and wet, I want to keep him nice, don't want to get him rusty, So basically, I bought myself. Basically, my second bedroom, I live on my own, so I'm basically slowly changing my second bedroom into a small home gym. Which I should probably film and put on our channel.
Yeah.
I should probably do that. We'll probably have my small home gym come in soon. But basically, yeah. So I don't have to go out in the rain. And I can still get my cardio in the morning. As I'm going to do one more cut, as I've said prior, before Christmas. But I used to do jogging on the spot in the morning. And in the evening, 15 minutes twice a day. But it was getting a bit sore on my knees and stuff, and I didn't want to wear out my carpet. So I thought this time, instead of doing that, I'm going to get my bike. So I got my bike.
So you have a bike in your second bedroom.
Yeah, I feel like the bike looks at the other bike whilst I'm riding it, and he gets jealous, and he's like, he should be riding me, or she should be, whatever you want to call it. But basically, I feel like they're probably having a little argument even over there who's going to get ridden today.
I literally thought you're going to put that bike in front of the TV.
No, I said to Martin about, I might do it where if I'm playing on the PlayStation with the guys, I might just sit pedaling on the bike whilst playing PlayStation if I get really bored. But the thing is, that way then I'm sort of like, entering the game on a bike. It might feel like I'm riding around, walking on the current game I am, Horizon. So I'm basically, when I'm getting on, like in Horizon, you can get on like this metal horse thing, and I could kind of pretend that I'm actually on that horse thing in my lounge. I've had two
Yeah,
cups
I
of
have
tea,
no
guys. Heads up,
comments.
2 cups
I'm
of
just
tea.
gonna be quiet. This is just can everyone just tell how Luke is like an all or nothing kind of person? Clearly you have to be able to tell by now. Like
Yeah,
he's all
I'm a
in.
bit intense.
He's a committed.
I'm ready. So I've done my 15 minutes this morning on the bike whilst listening to a podcast, and now I'm sitting here talking to you.
Do you believe, before we're gonna jump in and like really break these two things down, I have a very important question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in cardio before breakfast?
I do like it before breakfast. I do like it. I don't particularly. I know people say about fasted cardio and stuff, and I'm sure it does have some scientific reason behind it. But I prefer doing cardio in the morning before breakfast. Reason being is it just wakes me up a bit more. So I'm quite a morning person anyway, but I do find doing my cardio in the morning does wake me up.
Yeah, it's a very hot topic, especially in like in the gym junkie industry of fasted cardio. And the reason for that is because losing stored body fat. So when you're fasted, they believe that your body is taking from the stored body fat first because you have nothing in your belly to take from. But the different side of the argument would say that because you don't have any food that your body can take from, it would later make up for the food that's been taken from your body instead. So they're saying it's kind of, it doesn't really matter because your body's going to make up for it because your body don't like to lose body fat
Mm.
in the end.
Well, I think I heard that before, and someone said to me, you got to do like 20 minutes of cardio, and then you're working off your stores, even if you haven't eaten. And my cardio in the morning is 15 minutes. So realistically, whether I do it before or after, the only difference is I'm preventing a bit of indigestion I get. So I would literally have my meals for the day cooking up and my breakfast cooking up whilst I'm doing my cardio. And then literally as soon as I get off, so I'm trying to multitask with my time in the morning, to get my food cooked for the day and my breakfast cooked for the day whilst I'm getting my cardio done at the same time. As soon as I get off the bike, or when I used to do jogging on the spot, boom, breakfast is on plate, dinners, lunches, and that are made for the day.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. I do fasted cardio as well, actually. Not every day. It all depends about work, but on the weekends I do my morning walk, and I'm trying to do that for 30 minutes, maybe 40, but that's not for fat loss reasons. I do it the same as you. It wakes me up, I get my metabolism going, I get the sun exposure, which get my serotonin up going, and it just makes me feel really good. I really like to start my day with some kind of movement.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the whether you should be sort of doing cardio versus your strength. And it really depends. I think as well, it really depends on what stage of your life you're at. You know, if you're I have changed. So when I first got into my fitness, I did more sort of cardio and weights when I was in my sort of early teens, late teens, and then I went more into just weights. I never really touched cardio, and now I'm in my 30s. I'm more of a definite cardio and weights has to be done together. I like to be productive. I don't want to be like, yes, I can live a load of weight, but I can't do a chin up or a dip without being out of breath. Or if I get on a bike and cycle for 10 minutes, I'm out of breath. I want to be more
Mm.
functional, but also be able to lift, so there's pros and cons. And how would you feel on those?
Well, I feel like girls particularly are quite scared of strength, and it kind of ends up with guys normally do more strength training and skipping cardio days, and girls are more cardio focused, not only being on the treadmill or the bicycle. They're doing loads of classes as well and spinning, and so on. And they're kind of afraid of weightlifting in general. I don't know how many times I heard that, oh, I don't want to do weight because I'm afraid I'm going to bulk up. Just can we just for once and forever, just please ditch the idea for any girl out there that's afraid to get bulky from lifting weights. Just no, ditch it. I don't want to hear it ever again.
I do think now more people have got more girls are lifting weights. I know
Mm.
like a lot of girls like to do legs and glutes, but I do find that a lot more girls in the gym now are doing more sort of arms and back. Like I was in the gym the other day and this girl had a sick back. I was like, I just said to her, I was like, man, your back's looking sick. Like it's looking really good. And she was like, oh, thanks, you know. So I think I think things are changing. I do think things are
Mm.
changing, and it's like I do think, you know, a while ago everyone was sort of on it, like when I was a kid, like in school and that, it was all about being skinny. Now I think it's more about being fit and strong. I do think that's changing. So I do think that that sort of that image idea of what you should look like as a woman is changing a bit.
Yeah, I actually agree. It has been changed. But from a guy's perspective, then, do you feel like your friends are skipping cardio day and just focusing on weight?
I think when I started, you had more people wanting to lift weights, have big arms, and look good in a top. But I do find now that people are more aware of like their legs. For example, everyone used to joke about guys skipping leg day, you know, and I'll be honest, I can never put as much strength into training legs as I can. Training back or anything, I just can push myself harder. I do train on my own now. It's a sore subject. My training partner left me; he moved away, but we're not talking about him. We've forgotten his name already. And I'm not hurt by it. I'm just upset, disappointed by him more so. But anyway, moving on. As you can see, I've got no resentment for him whatsoever. 2 cups of tea, as I said. Okay. Anyway, so I do train on my own, and the point is, I can't push as hard on legs on my own because obviously if I'm doing a squat or if I'm doing a hack squat I can't get back up, whereas I used to with a team, with my training partner. But I do think people now focus more on legs, and myself exclusive as well. I'm trying to do that as well. But I do think guys are more doing cardio and your bits that you weren't. But the caveat, I do think a lot of people still are doing the dirty bulk, and then you get this. Oh yeah, no, I'm bulking. It's like, oh okay, cool, because I've never actually seen you shredded. Like, you know, they like, oh no, I'm bulking, and then you'll be like, oh you're, and then then a couple of months later they'll be like, yeah, I'm cutting. You'll be like, and then you'll see them again. They'll be like, yeah, I'm bulking. Like, well, okay, bro, I never saw you cut when you said you were cutting. So one thing at a time. Let's get the cut done, and then we can go back into the bulk. You know, they never really cut. So that's the only thing I do find with some people. But I think as you spend more time in the gym, you'll either get more engrossed in it and you'll develop more in your cardio. I think it depends on the term of the time that you've done the gym. I think it's like anything, if you get into it, you'll want to be better and better. And so therefore you'll focus more on cardio, legs, abs, and it would just be something you want to develop more. You won't just want to be like, yeah, I look big in a top.
Yeah, and it's the thing is when you only do weightlifting, especially like these guys that are so muscly, they like need to go sideways like a
Mm,
crab inside a door.
mm,
And then you put them on a bike and literally come out of breath within 5-10 minutes.
mm,
You need to understand cardio is not only for weightlifting, it has so many benefits that your body needs. You need to be able to have a good cardiovascular health. It's really important. A good way to really break it down is cardio is the strength and the health of your lungs and your heart, while weightlifting is the health for your muscles and your skeleton. Very important. So regardless how you want to look, if you want to gain muscles, if you want to lose weight, you need both in your life because we all want to look good, but internally you want to be healthy and feel well.
mm. I think throwing it back to my point on age and how you're saying about you want to be good across both points. I think you have to look, if you look at it like a car, if you've got a Range Rover, let's say you take a really big person, you got a Range Rover, right? And you put a 1.1 litre engine in it, and that's your heart. Now, trying to move that Range Rover on a 1.1 litre engine it's going to burn out and die, right? Now, not being horrible,
Explode.
you need to be, that shell, your body, needs to have the engine, your heart, to function that body and keep moving. Now, if your heart and your cardiovascular levels are high, right, then you will actually perform better in your lifts because you'll be able to keep your breath and your rhythm of breath better, and therefore you'll actually last longer in your lifts. That's what I found. As I progressed my cardio, my lifts were better. I was taking less breath in a set because I could function more on that breath, if that makes sense. Now, therefore, for me, it did having both sides of things. Later on in life, I found that my physical appearance and my output in the gym could be a lot better if I focused on both rather than just thinking of one or the other.
Yeah, that is so true. It is, you need both to function. And um, the worst thing, because I used to work as a fitness instructor, so one of the classes I was teaching was as kind of spinning classes. And I saw these members coming all the time. They're coming almost every day doing only spinning. So they were never lifting weights. They were hardly doing any of the small strength classes that we had. They were just spinning. And they were like skinny fat, as I call them.
Yeah.
So they were literally, they had the best cardio ever. Like they would outcycle me any time of the day. Like I was almost embarrassed of being their instructor, and they were so much better. But if you accidentally like slap them, it was just wobbling because there was no strength in the bodies. Like they could not even do a push up. And I don't care what age you're at, if you're a female or male, you should be able to do one push up. That's standard health, in my opinion. And they were literally, they were kind of skinny. You can call them like trimmed down, but there was no muscles. There was nothing underneath that skin.
Mm. Well, I think we both clearly agree that it's not cardio versus strength. Then we're saying we actually, correct me if we're wrong, we're saying you need both.
100%.
You can't
You
pick one
need
or the
both.
other, unless obviously like if you're a long distance runner, obviously you don't want to do too much weights, but you still want to build your strength up to a certain amount, and you need to be keeping your skeletal structure and your muscles in good order. So they would still be doing some weights. I don't know if you watched you had the Michael Jordan documentary on Netflix, and
I haven't watched it yet.
oh, it's so good. You should watch it. The guy's crazy. He's so amazing. But anyway, he was amazing at basketball when he was slender and really fit. But then his coach was like, actually, we need you to be muscular as well, but to a point. To a point where you're not too muscular, that you're productive for your sport, but we still need to have that muscular side of you as well to compete with these other guys. Now, whether you're a basketball player or a football player or whatever, I still think you need both now. But like I say, I've made the mistake where I've done, I just want to be really big and I want to lift as much as I can. And what I actually found was 5 years later that I can actually lift a lot more, be a lot leaner and a lot fitter by focusing on both rather than just being like, I'm just going to lift weights, I'm going to lift weights, I'm going to lift weights, and getting puffed out within 2 seconds.
Yeah, you definitely need both. And I know when I was cutting and really trying to like get quite shredded, cardio was really important. I literally did my fasted morning walks, but I did it on purpose to lose weight. So I did like 45 minutes every day. I was training weightlifting. I was doing too much. And instead, like I couldn't see any results because my first I was so exhausted that when I was lifting weights, I was too tired to lift it. And when I was trying to do cardio, I was too sore to be running. So it was just battling each other out all the time. And your body's getting stressed and it's just gonna beat each other out.
You got to find the balance between how much cardio is right for you, how much food's right for you, and how much weightlifting's right for you. I find I like to wake up to some cardio. I do my day's work. I go to the gym for an hour, and I keep my calories as high as possible to keep in a nice lean condition, and keep productive. I myself am not a tall guy, so I don't like being too heavy for my frame, and that's going to be the same for everyone. Like I say, I like to be at a productive weight. As soon as I feel that I'm tiring out unnecessarily, then that's, to me, too much weight for my frame for the current condition I'm in. I might be able to push the weight up a bit and get a bit more muscular and a bit leaner, and that will stay better. But as soon as I start to feel unproductive in my weight, then the cardio's got to go back up a bit.
Mm. And you need to think as well that when it comes to cardio versus strength training, we have agreed that you need both, but you also need to think about what is your goals. And if your goal is to bulk up, of course, you can't do tons and tons of cardio.
No, bring it down.
You still need it,
yes,
but you can't overdo it. And then if your goal is more to maybe lose weight, then getting an extra cardio session is good. But very important for everyone who's listening and want to lose weight, strength training, it is great for weight loss as well.
mm-hmm.
Because the more your muscles are active, the more calories you will burn when you do nothing. So if you're laying on a couch and you have a good toned body, active muscles that you are challenging each week, you burn more calories than just laying there watching Netflix than you would do on a cardio session, only doing cardio.
Yeah, I think always have the cardio in, whether you rein it back a little bit or you have to up it a little bit because you want to get a bit leaner. Always have it there. Always think of your internal health as well as your external health. Never put too much pressure on the fact that you just want to be as big as you can, as quick as you can. For me, is from a guy's perspective, and from a girl's perspective. You know, I just think your overall health. I don't worry, but I'm more concerned about my internal health and my heart condition and my lung condition and everything like that from 25 upwards. I've just been more aware of it, more wanting to be the best I can be, and I found that to do that, being across everything fitness wise in the gym, cardio, strength, conditioning, I find I can do that more by keeping that cardio in there rather than dropping it out completely. Because as well, if I want to get really lean, then I've got to bring my cardiovascular level back up before I can then start, and I'm puffing and I'm panting. And whereas if I'm just upping it from 10 minutes a day in the morning, 10 minutes at night to 15, that's not much. But if I'm going from nothing to 10, then I'm going to be like, and I'm just going to be a mess. So be across the board.
You need to stay healthy as long as you can. I would say, regardless if you have like a set goal of how you want to look or what your health and wellness goal could be, you want to get to a certain age in life where you can walk up the stairs without getting out of breath. And if you someday fall, you need to be able to push yourself up to a standing position. And it's like the basic health. I learned in PT school that one of the biggest issues while for older people to get injured in older days is because when they fall, they can't get back up. So basically, they end up laying on the ground for a while with a broken hip or whatever it could be, and they can't get themselves back up.
I think that's one thing I'm going to try throughout my life. Obviously, I'll drop the amount of weight and stuff that I do, but I want to really stay. My goal, this is my goal, is for every big birthday, so my 30th, my 40th, my 50th, I want a picture on my birthday of me with abs. It might be sad, but that is my goal.
I'm going to hold you accountable.
Every big year. So 30, I did 30. When I'm 40, I want a picture of me with abs. 50, 60, maybe 70, maybe basically every big birthday, I want a photo of me with abs.
Let's hold you accountable.
I'm going to do it. Because
I'm
stubborn. You know what I'm like. I'll be like, I'm getting abs for this birthday. However, do you have any view on nasal breathing versus mouth breathing? In terms of cardio and in terms of weights?
Well, basically, you should be in your everyday life breathing throughout your nose.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're breathing throughout your nose, there's 5 different filters for that air coming into your lungs.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Also...
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And when you breathe in through your mouth, I think there's only two, maybe three filters.
Hmm.
So the air is actually clean and coming in from your nose into your lungs. And then you also have the way the air coming in, it goes much deeper going in from your nose. So the deeper the air hits your lungs, is going to expand in a deeper part of your belly and then activate your vagus nerve. So there's a nerve sitting at the back of your spine going straight from your gut up to your brain. So that's your gut and brain axis basically. So when you're breathing throughout your nose, you keep your body in a calm state, calm and unstressful state. So that should be the way you're breathing throughout the day, throughout the night, just to keep your body in a good state. Now, when it comes to training, you want your body to start breathing through your mouth. Reason for that is because it's taking up air or a larger amount of air in quicker. And when you're training, what you want is more air into your body from your lungs out to your heart, out to your blood system. And then that air can be pumped up to your brain, give you energy, give you focus, and also out to your muscles, keeping you doing what you're supposed to do. When you're training, naturally, you want off your mouth because it's a natural system of your body getting adrenaline kicking, air, blood, and everything flowing. And when you're not training, you want it through your nose instead, just to keep your body in a calm state.
So me and you have got a slightly difference of opinion on this one. So I
Go on.
agree, nasal breathing throughout the day. And I used to be terrible for breathing through my mouth. And you'd always sort of get that over time, that tightness building up in your chest and that, because you're sort of taking very shallow breaths. You're not really taking in a nice, productive breath, I found. So I watched this podcast a while ago, and they said about nasal breathing. And so I really worked on breathing through my nose for my fitness and generally my health. So he was talking about how it will help in your cardio and in your strength as well. Now, when I first started doing it, it was quite uncomfortable because you're so used to breathing through your mouth that it is uncomfortable. But when you get used to it, it's so much more, I found, productive. So this guy, his study is quite new, and he says about it being much more productive for training because you're less likely to hyperventilate. So whereas you're training, then you can go, you take shallow breaths, you're tight, say you're doing chest press, your chest becomes tight, not because your chest is sore, but because you're hyperventilating, you're making everything a bit tighter than it needs to be, and you're taking more breaths than you need to do for that weight. So I really focused on nasal breathing throughout my whole day and my training, whether it be strength or cardio. And I found that I was a lot more productive when I got my nasal breathing down throughout my whole. So if you look at a video on my Instagram, I don't nasal breathe. The only reason my mouth might open is because I'm pulling a silly face because it's uncomfortable. But I did find that obviously we've got slight different opinions on this. Obviously, I would suggest to people to try it and see what they benefit. But I just found that I was getting a lot of tightness in my chest through training, and I didn't feel like it was because of my endurance levels. I just felt that after a set, I was like trying to get my breath back. When I swapped over to nasal breathing and I sort of got it down, that actually I didn't have that none of out of breathness after training whatsoever between a set. And now I train literally, I would do a set, I'll have 30 seconds rest, I'll do another set, and there's no time that I need to catch my breath.
Interesting. I never heard about that one actually. I guess breathing throughout your nose, if you're on a very, I would say, very advanced level of fitness, when you can actually focus on your training while
it took
you focus
time.
on your
Yeah,
breathing.
it took time to get it down.
It helps your body because, as I said, when you're breathing throughout your nose, you're calming your body down. If you're having those deep breaths, you're calming your body down. So if you can control that, then it's all great. Or if you have longer break, like because I'm doing so many breath work exercises, I do meditation. I'm very
Guess
good
what?
at.
I started meditation. Very
No
basic
way.
meditation, though. Very, very basic. It's on my Fitbit.
Oh, that's good.
It gets me to be. She's like, just pretend you're in a field and you can hear things blowing. And with that, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in through your nose. And I'm just like, right, okay.
Say that Luke should never be
no,
recording meditation
I don't think I've got the voice for it.
Because that was creepy.
But then she's like, and you can hear the birds around you. I'm like, well, that's not relaxing, because what if they fly in my hair? Do you know what I mean? You had me until then.
I'm gonna send some better of it for you, because the one we have on our watch, I don't like them. None of them.
Yeah, I think they're doing like a trial where it's like a premium part, and yeah, it's all right, but I'm not like blown away by it. We should talk about Fitbit more in depth for people as a fitness tool as well, actually, because there's so much to it.
Quite interesting.
There's so much to it.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Whereas I was blinded.
Should we just quickly run the benefits of strength training versus cardio?
Yes.
Because now I think everyone knows that we are team cardio and team strength.
Yes.
But if people want to know what is actually the benefit of each of them, what would you say? What's the benefit of strength training?
So strength training, I think it's good to keep your muscles in good working order, as well as your bones. The more that you put pressure under your muscles, your bones are actually getting better as well. And obviously, as you get older, your bones could get more brittle. So by keeping your strength up, you're going to also keep your skeletal system in a good working order. So that would be me. But so that's a very simple, easy way of doing it, but I'm not going to sort of go into sort of something that I don't believe. I just believe it for that reason. Also, it makes you look good. But, side note.
Sneaky.
And then cardio.
But also on strength, very important note, especially for you females, after the age of 35, your muscle or your strength for your bones is actually decreasing. So obviously training weightlifting is one of the only ways you can strengthen back your bones and keep that system active as long as possible. And this is especially for females, especially after age of 35, and even more so after menopause.
Isn't that the case for men though? Because your natural test levels start to drop off when you're 30.
Yeah,
so in that
theory, put it out for all the girls who are scared of strength training.
Yeah, no, but I think for the same reason for guys and girls.
Yeah, from age of 35.
It's not so much just keep your looks good. It's going to help your bone structure, and that's going to help the longevity of your life, hopefully.
Because obviously your muscles are connected to your bones. So doing strength training is challenging your bones.
Yeah. And then so cardio, I would literally just say, well, you don't want a poor engine in a good frame. I would just say, of course, you want to keep hold of your heart health. Good. That's what I would do on it.
You need your heart to be strong as well. In the end, you can function without a foot or arm. You can function without so many things going wrong in your body. But if your heart stops, I'm sorry, but that's the end. So you need to keep that in good health. You need to make sure that your lungs in a good health and that you have oxygen pumping around in your system. And it's going to help you stay active, and it's going to help you stay well and focused, because you need air up to your brain. So doing cardio, helping your cardiovascular system and giving more energy and focus to your brain health.
Yeah, I found, like we said before, if you're keeping across both things, I think just generally you'll be better in both.
Yeah.
Rather than just focusing on muscle or cardio. Yeah. Oh, I want to give a massive shout out. You know Jack?
Jack who?
Oh, I can't say his surname. You know him. Christmas dinner.
Oh, yeah, yes, right? Jack.
He has smashed it, right? Jack has absolutely smashed it. I spoke to him the other day on the phone. Jack is a slightly bigger guy. And he is a tall guy though, but he is slightly bigger. And during lockdown, he's been working on cutting down snacks, and mostly just cutting down snacks, and because he's got a reasonably physical job. But he's lost over 10 kilo
Really?
And you will not believe it's come off stupidly quick, probably a little bit too quick, but he's lost it in a month and a half.
Really? Jack,
10 kilo.
shout out to
Oh
you.
my
This
God,
is
he's amazing.
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 Because I know how good food his mom is cooking. So I know the struggle.
I was just like, Jack, what? So he was, I'm sure he won't mind me telling you because he's smashed it. He was 116 kilo, but he is, like I say, a taller guy. He's over 6 foot.
I feel like a midget around him.
Yeah, he's over 6 foot. He was 116. He's now under 106, and he's going for under 100.
It's amazing. Big shout out to you, Jack.
Absolute smash. When he told me, I was like, bro, that is so cool. So
I can't wait to give him a high five next time I see him.
That's it. And it just shows you, just because we're in lockdown and, you know, measures are coming in and out as, you know, each week changes, you can still get your goals if that's what you want to do. Stay focused. And you will still get your goals. So I was like, I got off the phone and rang up Mine. I was like, Mine, have you heard about Jack? And I like rang up my other friend, and she didn't even know Jack. But I was like, guess what? My mate Jack's lost this. And I was so like, damn.
Yeah. So good.
But my excitement was because where he is slightly bigger, it's good for his health, and I want my friends to be healthy and happy.
Exactly. You want them around as long as possible.
Yeah, of course. And he was so subtle about it. He was like, yeah, so I've lost this. I'm like, bro, that's huge. Well done. Like, don't underplay it. You've done amazing.
Yeah. And that's like, can we sneak that in as well? The last thing of this episode. Cheer on your friends. And cheer on yourself.
Yeah.
Cheer on yourself.
Yeah.
Like one of my girlfriends, she beat her record in squats the other week. So Santa, this is a shout out to you.
Oh, Santa, yeah.
Luke and no, like guys, not like Santa Claus. It's just Santa.
Sexy Santa.
It's very confusing. Sexy Santa, we call her.
We call her Sexy Santa.
She did her squat goals the other day.
What did she
now
get?
Squatting 50 kilos.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm building her up. And
are you training together?
Smashing it. Yeah. She's my.
Yeah.
I would say victim.
Bless She's your victim. I don't have a victim because we're not talking about him, but my training partner left me because he moved. I'm not hurt by it.
I wonder why.
I'm not hurt by it.
I wonder why. Because you're mean to train.
How dare he? How dare he develop with his life and buy a new house? How dare he? If that means I have to do squats on my own, like it's not okay.
Santa is blaming her kids for not training with me anymore. I wonder if there's anything else.
It's you.
I think so.
Well, look, anyway, guys, we're going to wrap up this episode. Thank you for joining us. You can always find us on YouTube at the 20 into 30 podcast on a Monday morning. We seem to be having no productional glitches at the moment. Fingers crossed, touch wood and all that stuff. And you can find us on our private pages as well.
Health by Evelina. You find me on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. And you also find Luke.
At Luke Bradley on Instagram. But I've been a bit lazy on it, and we are going to talk about that on another episode, which is going to be called Addiction. But until then, guys, have a great rest of your week, and we will speak to you soon.